Good morning. It's Friday, August 15th. I'm Haley Hines in for Jen Stacy.
And I'm Rob Spicker, 6 o'clock, and glad you're with us. Today, Wink News might find out the name of the Ferguson, Missouri police officer who shot and killed an unarmed 18-year-old. As CNN is reporting, police are going to be releasing those details despite the apparent threats against his life.
This morning, the Missouri Highway Patrol is in charge of security in Ferguson as unrest plagues the St. Louis suburb nearly a week since Michael Brown's death. Paulo Sandoval is live at 6 in Ferguson, Missouri with the latest details on the shooting and investigation.
Good morning from the streets of Ferguson, Missouri, where we are seeing a major change right now. Really now, days of chaos and violence replaced by passionate but peaceful protests.
What do we want? Justice! When we want it! Now!
Dialogue instead of disorder on the streets of Ferguson, Missouri Thursday night. Peaceful protests were held in a town turned upside down by Saturday's shooting of Michael Brown. This comes after Governor Jay Nixon handed over crowd control to the Missouri State Highway Patrol.
Even in our anger, in our toughest moments, and when we're at our height, when we're just so angry, let's remember this as a calming force.
It's a stark contrast from the tear gas, looting, and vandalism that brought the world's attention to the small town and stirred passions across the country. Hundreds of demonstrators tied up traffic last night in New York's Times Square, and communities across the country held vigils honoring 18-year-old Brown. Brown's family was at one of them in St. Louis.
So we wanted to come to the heart of the city, downtown St. Louis, at the Arch, and be in front of a peaceful demonstration so that we could show Michael was a very peaceful guy, and we want to remain peaceful.
Later today, Ferguson police plan to release the name of the officer who shot Brown. The family of the teen just wants to know what happened Saturday night.
We don't really have many answers to what occurred on that day, and she can't rest as a result of not knowing everything that occurred on the evening.
And those major crowds that we saw yesterday now reduced to just a few demonstrators not far from the police department here. A lot of people will be watching today as the name of that police officer will be released. Of course, we'll also be watching as well. That name had actually been not released after some security concerns and death threats against the officer. Live in Ferguson, Missouri, I'm Paulo Sandoval reporting. Now back to you.
Attorney General Eric Holder is promising the Brown family there will be a complete independent civil rights investigation of his death.
And once again, Ferguson police are expected to release the name of the officer who allegedly shot Brown. Count on Wink News for updates.
We want to get a look at our weather out the door this morning as we are tracking some early morning thunderstorms for some of you in southwest Florida, especially in Lee County coastline. Here's a look at Doppler radar. Newly developed thunderstorm right over top of Sanibel. Fort Myers Beach extending up toward the southwest Cape area as we are watching this thunderstorm kind of ride right up the Caloosahatchee now. So we'll be tracking that. This will weaken as it pushes farther inland, but right now some very heavy rainfall. And where you see the white dots here on Doppler radar, those are new lightning strikes. So we are looking at quite a bit of lightning. You're hearing that thunder in the Cape, across Pine Island, Sanibel, into Fort Myers as well, as this is some very heavy rainfall stretching the full stretch of the causeway now coming in the Punta Rassa area. So heads up there, Shell Point into southwest Cape Coral. Some rain kind of just skirting you. This will ride over to the southeast Cape very shortly. Pine Island Center, Matlacha, a light shower there, but much lighter than we're seeing down there towards Sanibel. And a little shower coming in right at Immokalee Road, right north of Pelican Bay there in the North Naples area. So we'll be tracking some rain as we go through the morning. Temperature starting out in the upper 70s. We'll look at your forecast at 6:11 with your weather on the one. Now let's go over to Therese for a look at traffic.
Good morning, and we're looking pretty clear out there right now. The one concern you have on the roadways is that wet conditions out there right now. You're seeing it here across Charlotte County right now, the Englewood, Rotunda area, 4175 in and out of Northport, Port Charlotte area going to be wet, as well as parts of El Jabin out there on 776. So be careful heading out that way, as well as here on Sanibel Island, Sanibel Captiva Road, Periwinkle Way. The causeway going to be wet as well for that morning drive. Good news is we are crash free still across Lake Collier and Charlotte County to start off your morning commute. Now it's 6. That's your Wake News traffic. Haley and Rob, back to you.
Today is day one of a two-day job fair at Alta Resources in Fort Myers. The employment opportunities come a year after this self-described call center operator came here to Southwest Florida.
Alta Resources is really going on a hiring spree so they can handle new healthcare signups this fall and into the spring. And Wake News reporter Stephanie Seskine is live at their Fort Myers headquarters. They need a lot of jobs here, don't they, Steph?
Good morning, Rob and Haley. I just spoke with Alta Resources staff members. They're here early to get ready for this job fair. They tell me they're now looking to hire about 1,000 new employees for this seasonal outlook. They say they need 1,200 by November, and they've got about 200 right now. So about 1,000 people will be hired, they hope, over the next 2 days at this job fair. Now, this is essentially a call center, and this location here in Fort Myers deals mostly with health care. So they need these workers to help companies through the open enrollment period under the Affordable Care Act. Now they're looking for customer representatives, health insurance salespeople. They'll help you get your license if you need that. And these are mostly seasonal jobs, but some are part-time, some are full-time. They also have bilingual positions available. So a lot of opportunities out here today. The job fair runs from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. today and 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow here at Gateway Boulevard. You can find much more information on our website, winknews.com. Reporting live in Lee County, Stephanie Suskind, Wink News this morning.
Today, Wink News will find out if Florida's unemployment rate is still higher than the national average. The unemployment rate for June will be released at 10. Now, back in June, Florida's unemployment rate came in at 6.2%. Payroll providers ADP predicts the state added more than 8,000 private sector jobs. Wink News will have the numbers for you in our later newscasts.
6:06, and just in this morning, the flight boards at Southwest Florida's International Airport are working once again today. Airport officials telling Wink News that the online flight tracker is up and running after being down for about 9 hours, so last night and into this morning. So once again, if you're doing some flying today, the check system at the airport and the online version, they are back up and running so you can see if your flights are on time. This morning, Iraq's prime minister is stepping down, finally succumbing to U.S. pressure after 8 years in power.
White House officials say Nouri al-Maliki is making the correct decision for his country. His Shiite-dominated government is blamed for allowing Islamic militants to advance, forcing thousands to flee from their homes and take refuge in the mountains. Today, UN Security Council will vote on a resolution that would punish the recruitment and financing of foreign fighters in Iraq and Syria.
We are urging Iraqis to come together to turn the tide against ISIL, above all by seizing the enormous opportunity of forming a new, inclusive government.
The White House just called off plans for a refugee rescue mission, but effective airstrikes helped Iraqis escape ISIL militants. Iraq's new prime minister has 30 days to make a new government, something the U.S. and international powers hope is more democratic.
This morning, the first wave of National Guard troops are in place along the Texas-Mexico border. Dozens of soldiers are deployed in the Rio Grande Valley as more illegal immigrants continue to cross into the U.S. It was last month that Texas Governor Rick Perry promised to call up to 1,000 National Guard members to deal with the immigration crisis. The National Guard says the troops are serving as extra eyes on the border and reporting any suspicious activity.
On the View at 6, check out this spider catching his prey on live TV during a broadcast in the UK. The spider photobombed the BBC bulletin, but the more surprising part, the anchor didn't even flinch. He says he was completely unaware of the spider until viewers started tweeting. No, how you missed that?
Well, it's not where he can necessarily see, but you can see it if you're watching at home.
Oh, it's just trying to get over there. Okay, oh, look at his legs.
It's Mother Nature at work. Hey, you're watching Southwest Florida's most watched morning news, Wink News this morning.
Right after the break, Wink News meteorologist Joey Sobine helps you plan your day with your weather on the ones.